When I was young, I didn't really notice differences between myself and other students. Florida's somewhat of a melting pot of culture, and I was exposed to different nationalities from a young age. I never noticed that every book I read, from Ramona Quimby, age 8, to Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, contained a white female protagonist. All of the stories that I enjoyed could be classified as coming of age, and I could clearly see myself or my friends represented in them. For me, reading was a joy, and here I am never noticing that I am any different from anybody else, even though I am the tiniest one in this picture in pretty much the whole 5th grade. Reading was a mirror for me, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I believe that it is our job as educators to create mirrors and windows specifically for students that are neurodivergent, and in doing so, to eliminate the social stigma that surrounds neurodivergence. Okay, fast forward to my beginning years as a teacher. My exposure to students on the spectrum increased as the years went by. I began learning different ways to scaffold for them. But these students were seen as difficult, troublemakers, or behavior problems. And the other students would give them a wide berth so as not to be swallowed into the bad kid black hole. I was so busy modifying behavior that I never took time to teach these students how to build relationships. I didn't take time to teach the other students about the behaviors they were seeing or why they happened. It wasn't until 2015, when I had 3 students with autism in my class, that I began to pay attention to the social impact of neurodivergence. A book that a parent brought in and read to the class is what changed my focus. This mother was a strong advocate for her daughter, and I will never forget the phrase that she repeated in every single meeting that I had with her. If you've met one child with autism, you've met one child with autism. Now, autism is not the only neurodivergence. You have students with ADHD, you have obsessive compulsive disorders, you have Asperger's, you have stuttering. Anything that's neurological is neurodivergence. And many times, if not all times, these students feel that they are different. So what can we do about that? One of the things that we can do is start building libraries in our classroom that reflect and give information. A read aloud, such as one of these, and this is from Epic, would provide information about the neurodivergent to students. I am sure that the student themselves has probably been to the doctor and learned about it, but this is a good resource that could be shared. These are great resources that can be shared with parents as well if they haven't had those conversations with their own children. But as an educator, we need to educate. And so books like these, nonfiction books that tell what they are and what behaviors you would see and why you would see them and how to help them, this would be a great step and building that classroom community. Because we need windows. And what do I mean by that? I mean, we need to be able to look and see other people through the books that we read. And so that's some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today. What should we be seeing? We do see a lot, there's a lot of ways to be different. But what I'm noticing is when I am looking for books for my own classroom, there aren't always a lot that focus on neurodivergent or where we could see these characters and what their day-to-day life is like to build that empathy. Here's a collection, a small collection on Epic that is full of fiction that the characters have something about them that's neurodivergent. One of my favorites is called All of My Stripes. And in this, in the end, The little zebra understands that he has many stripes. He is unique, but those stripes are not weaknesses. They are strengths. And so we should be providing our students with mirrored books that they can see what their strengths are, but also that are windows so that other students can see what their strengths are. So I'm going to give you a few examples of these so that you can stock your library to build empathy. The first one is called A Friend for Henry. Henry has autism and he loves rules. When people don't play by the rules, Henry gets upset. But in the end, Henry finds someone who is okay with that. And I think that the kids need to see this kind of relationship build and how you can build a friendship with someone that is neurodivergent. This picture book is called A Boy and Jaguar. And so the boy in this stutters. However, he is an animal advocate. So he figures out a way to get his voice heard, to advocate for these animals. It's an amazing story that shows strength and shows uniqueness and skill that students have. They are not just their divergence. Moving on to the middle grade books. I love this one, Fish in a Tree. You have two characters. One has ADHD, one has autism or Asperger's syndrome, and they learn to accept themselves, and the people in their classroom learn to accept them and see them for their strengths. This one is the only one I found, the Goldfish Boy, that has a main character that has obsessive compulsive disorder. Again, the strength in this is that the boy can use that OCD to help solve a mystery, a crime that was committed. Mockingbird. So this one is a very emotional story. The girl, the main character in this story, has Asperger's, and it's her family that is helping her see who she is, that not everything is black and white, and it really shows the struggle that she endures. This would be an excellent Windows book. And the last one in this group I want to share is called Anything But Typical, and you can see that the boy is covering his face. And this one, he is trying to make friends. He succeeds in making friends, and the skill, the stripe that makes him unique is that he's an amazing writer. So we need to teach our kids to look for those unique stripes within themselves and in other people. Finally, I found just one book. It's called Same But Different, and this is for teens. It is nonfiction, but it shares a sister and a brother's story of how one of them has autism, and it shares their experience. So this would be an excellent book study, a novel study for students in high school, where they can see there are other people out there that are struggling with this same thing that I am. Maybe I have a family member that has this, or maybe it's me, or maybe I have a friend who has a brother. I can read this, I can see myself in this, or I can see my friend in this, and I can be happy and I can be socially accepted. So those are just a few things. So my advice to you is to be intentional. Find those books. They are out there. And if they are not out there, make them.